Ladies and gentlemen, we often hear about the importance of friendship, about how we should treasure the people we surround ourselves with, and how friendships are key to leading a fulfilling life. But what happens when a woman finds herself without a friend? When she walks through life without someone to confide in, someone to laugh with, someone to turn to for support? Friendship is one of the most fundamental aspects of the human experience. It's a connection that transcends time, distance, and circumstance, offering support, joy, and understanding in ways that few other relationships can. While romantic relationships and family ties are often given the most emphasis in society, it is friendship that often provides the foundation for emotional well-being, especially for women. At its core, friendship serves as a mirror, reflecting not only who we are, but also who we can become. Friends see us in our most authentic light, acknowledging both our strengths and our flaws without judgment. This level of understanding fosters a deep sense of acceptance that is rare in other types of relationships. Through friends, we often discover new perspectives on life and learn about ourselves in ways we might never have considered. The shared experiences, the laughter, and even the disagreements all contribute to a richer, more nuanced sense of self. On a more practical level, friendships provide the emotional support that helps us navigate the challenges of life. Whether we're facing a personal crisis, dealing with work stress, or going through difficult transitions, friends offer a safety net, providing both comfort and encouragement. The value of having someone who truly listens, cannot be overstated. In moments of pain or uncertainty, knowing that there's someone who cares, someone who will stand by you, can make all the difference in your ability to cope and heal. Friendship is also a powerful source of joy. It's through friends that we often experience some of the most memorable and uplifting moments of our lives, celebrating milestones, sharing inside jokes, or simply enjoying a quiet afternoon together. These moments of shared happiness are not just enjoyable in the moment, but they also build a lasting reservoir of positive memories that we can draw on when times are tough. A good friend brings lightness and laughter into our lives, reminding us of the beauty in the world and helping us see life from a more playful and optimistic perspective. Moreover, friendships create a sense of belonging. In a world that can often feel isolating, knowing that you are part of a community of people who care about you, who share your values, interests, and experiences, gives you a grounding sense of security. This sense of belonging is vital for mental health. It combats loneliness and helps us feel connected to the world around us. When we have friends, we are reminded that we are not alone in our struggles or our joys. There is always someone to walk alongside us. For women, the value of friendship can be even more pronounced. Women often navigate multiple roles in society: caregivers, professionals, partners, mothers, and the demands of these roles can sometimes feel overwhelming. Having friends provides a space where women can relax, be themselves, and recharge. Friends offer a sense of solidarity, a reminder that others understand the complexities and pressures they face. In friendships, women can share their innermost thoughts, dreams, and fears without fear of judgment, knowing that they are supported and accepted as they are. In addition to emotional support, friends often help us grow in ways that are challenging but necessary. Through friendships, we confront uncomfortable truths about ourselves and learn to improve. True friends don't just tell us what we want to hear, they tell us what we need to hear. They help us become better versions of ourselves, even if it's difficult. The honest feedback, the accountability, and the encouragement from friends push us to take risks, face fears, and reach new heights. Lastly, friendships enrich our lives by exposing us to new ideas, cultures, and experiences. A friend who has a different perspective, background, or interest can open our eyes to new ways of thinking, new hobbies, and new passions. These shared experiences broaden our horizons and contribute to a more open-minded, diverse view of the world. Through our friends, we grow, learn, and experience life in ways that we might never have on our own. In all of these ways, friendship is not just important, it is essential. It nurtures our emotional health, strengthens our resilience, and enhances our quality of life. Without friendship, we risk isolation and loneliness, but with it, we find a source of strength, joy, and belonging that no other relationship can fully replace. The absence of friendship can be an incredibly difficult and isolating experience, especially for women. In many societies, women are often expected to form deep, supportive relationships with others, whether that's through family, romantic partnerships, or a close-knit group of friends. When a woman finds herself without a friend, it can feel like she's standing alone in a world that expects her to be surrounded by a social circle. This isolation is not merely a matter of missing companionship. It can manifest in a variety of emotional, psychological, and even practical challenges that affect her overall well-being. One of the most significant challenges faced by women without friends is loneliness. Loneliness is not just about being physically alone, it's the feeling of emotional disconnection from others. For women, who are often socialized to value nurturing relationships and emotional bonds, the absence of close friendships can lead to profound feelings of emptiness. The sense of having no one to confide in, no one to share life's joys and sorrows with, can create a void that feels difficult to fill. The lack of someone who truly understands and listens can make even everyday experiences feel lonely and insignificant. This emotional isolation can have a deep impact on mental health, leading to feelings of sadness, anxiety, and sometimes even depression. Moreover, women without friends may also face the challenge of self-doubt. Friendship is a mirror, reflecting not only who we are, but also validating our experiences and emotions. Without friends, a woman may begin to question her own worth. Are the things she experiences and feels valid if there's no one to share them with? This lack of external validation can lead to an internal struggle with self-esteem. In the absence of friends, it becomes harder to see ourselves through compassionate eyes. We might be more likely to ruminate on our shortcomings or blame ourselves for the absence of social connections. This can affect how a woman views her place in the world, often resulting in a diminished sense of value. Women without friends are also more likely to experience stress and emotional exhaustion without the outlet of support that friendship provides. In moments of stress or hardship, we turn to our friends to help us process emotions, offer advice, or simply provide a safe space to vent. For women who are without such friendships, they face the burden of carrying their emotional weight alone. When everything, whether it's work pressure, family responsibilities, or personal struggles, piles up, there's no one to lean on, and the emotional labor falls squarely on their own shoulders. This can lead to burnout, a sense of overwhelming fatigue, and even an increased vulnerability to mental health challenges such as anxiety or depression. In addition to emotional burdens, women without friends may feel a heightened sense of social stigma. Society often places a high value on social connectedness, and women in particular are often seen as failing in some way if they don't have a close circle of friends. The idea of the girlfriend group, where women are expected to have a supportive network of friends to navigate life's challenges, is deeply ingrained in popular culture. When a woman doesn't fit this mold, she might be viewed as odd, inadequate, or somehow incomplete. This societal judgment can exacerbate feelings of shame or guilt, making it even harder for her to reach out for support or make new connections. Another challenge women without friends face is missing out on the personal growth that comes from social interactions. Friendships are not just a source of comfort, they are a source of challenge and growth. Friends often help us see things about ourselves that we might not notice on our own. They offer different perspectives, hold us accountable, and sometimes push us to confront aspects of our personality or behavior that we may not want to face. Without friends, this critical process of self-discovery and development may be stunted. The lack of these checks and balances can result in stagnation, leaving a woman to navigate life on her own without the valuable insights that friendships can provide. There's also the practical challenge that comes with having no close friendships. Women often rely on friends for practical support, whether it's help with childcare, navigating career decisions, or simply providing a listening ear during difficult times. Without a network of friends, women may feel that they have fewer resources available to them when facing life's challenges. This lack of practical support can make everyday life feel more difficult and can increase the emotional toll that routine responsibilities place on a woman. A woman without friends may find it harder to manage life's demands because she lacks that informal, yet essential, support system that often comes from close friendships. Furthermore, the absence of friends can also impact a woman's sense of belonging. Humans are inherently social beings, and feeling like an outsider can have serious consequences on a woman's mental health. Without the sense of belonging that comes from friendships, she might feel disconnected not just from her immediate circle, but also from society as a whole. This disconnection can result in feelings of alienation or being misunderstood, making it even more difficult to form meaningful connections in the future. Finally, women without friends might struggle with missing the social aspects of life that bring joy and meaning. There are countless moments in life that are made more special by having someone to share them with: a birthday celebration, a weekend getaway, a quiet evening spent reminiscing over old memories. Without a friend, these moments lose their fullness. It can feel as though there is something missing in life, a sense of celebration or shared experience that simply can't be replicated alone. Each of these challenges underscores the complex and multifaceted impact that the absence of friendship can have on a woman's life. It's not just the loss of social connection, but a ripple effect that influences every part of her emotional, psychological, and practical existence. Loneliness is a deeply human experience, one that can touch anyone, regardless of their age, background, or social standing. Yet, despite its universality, loneliness is often viewed as a taboo, something to be ashamed of or hidden away. There is a pervasive stigma attached to being alone, especially for women, where societal expectations often demand that women be surrounded by friends and social networks to be seen as fulfilled or successful. When a woman experiences loneliness or finds herself without close friends, it's easy for her to feel as if she has somehow failed not just at forming relationships, but at living up to societal standards of what a complete woman should look like. This stigma is a silent force that can make it more difficult for individuals to admit to feelings of loneliness, let alone seek help or support. The fear of being judged, misunderstood, or labeled as socially inept can cause women to internalize their loneliness, further compounding the emotional strain. Instead of reaching out for connection, they may try to hide their feelings, mask their isolation, or simply ignore the loneliness in hopes that it will dissipate on its own. This can create a vicious cycle where the effort to appear fine only deepens the sense of alienation and despair. One of the reasons loneliness carries such a stigma is because it challenges the social norms around what it means to be successful in relationships. Our culture often places great value on social visibility and connectivity. We're told that our worth is often measured by the size and strength of our social circles, by how many friends we have, and by the number of social events we attend. Social media amplifies these expectations by presenting an idealized version of the perfect life, one that is filled with friends, family, and seemingly endless social activity. In this environment, being alone can feel like a mark of failure or inadequacy, particularly for women who are often expected to be the caretakers and relationship nurturers in society. For women, this pressure is heightened by the ideal of the best friend, that one person who is always by your side, who knows you inside and out, who is your confidante and your emotional anchor. The absence of such a friendship can lead women to believe that they are not living up to this ideal, that there's something inherently wrong with them if they don't have this bond in their life. This can make it harder to talk openly about loneliness for fear of being perceived as lacking or incomplete. The internalized belief that loneliness reflects a deficiency can keep women trapped in silence, unable to reach out for help, or worse, feeling as though they don't deserve connection at all. The stigma also often carries an element of judgment, particularly when loneliness is viewed as something self-inflicted or a sign of social incompetence. People may assume that a woman who is alone is somehow difficult, antisocial, or unfriendly, when in reality, loneliness is rarely a choice. Life circumstances such as moving to a new city, experiencing a breakup, or navigating major transitions can leave anyone feeling isolated, regardless of their personality or social skills. The stereotype of the loner perpetuates the idea that those who are alone have brought this situation upon themselves. Even though loneliness is a complex emotion that is often driven by external factors beyond one's control. There is also a more insidious form of self-stigma that can take root in those who experience loneliness. This is the internalized belief that feeling lonely makes them somehow less than others. Women in particular may internalize the message that they are not fulfilling their societal roles as nurturers and caregivers if they don't have a wide circle of friends. This leads to feelings of inadequacy, worthlessness, and sometimes even shame. Instead of acknowledging that loneliness is simply a natural part of life, something that happens to everyone at some point, many women begin to view themselves as broken or unlovable, reinforcing the negative feelings associated with being alone. The stigma around loneliness also often leads to the suppression of emotional expression. Loneliness is often a painful and uncomfortable feeling, one that many people, particularly women, are taught to suppress or downplay. We're expected to be able to fix our own loneliness, to put on a brave face, or to busy ourselves with work, family, or hobbies in an effort to distract from the loneliness. However, this constant masking can actually intensify the emotional burden, leading to emotional exhaustion. Because the stigma around loneliness makes it so difficult to express these feelings openly, those who are experiencing it may avoid talking about it, even to close family or partners, out of fear of burdening them or being seen as weak. One of the most powerful ways to break the stigma of loneliness is to start normalizing the conversation around it. Loneliness, like other emotional states, is not something to be feared or hidden away. It is part of the human condition, a natural response to the ebb and flow of life. By talking openly about loneliness, we can begin to see it as a temporary state that can be addressed through connection, compassion, and self-care, rather than something that defines us. In doing so, we can reduce the shame and judgment that so often accompany the feeling of being alone. The stigma around loneliness also makes it difficult for people to seek out and build new connections. When women feel they should already have a close group of friends, they may hesitate to reach out to others, fearing rejection or that they will be seen as needy or desperate. This fear of judgment can prevent them from forming new friendships or reinvesting in their social lives. Breaking the stigma means creating spaces where people can feel safe to express their need for connection without fear of being judged or labeled. It means allowing women and people in general to understand that it is okay to be lonely at times, and that seeking out companionship is not a sign of weakness, but a courageous act of self-love and self-care. Finally, breaking the stigma also involves redefining what friendship and social success look like. Instead of viewing friendship as something that should happen automatically or naturally for everyone, we need to recognize that making meaningful connections takes effort, time, and vulnerability. Loneliness doesn't mean someone is incapable of forming deep connections, but rather that the right connections haven't yet materialized. This shift in perspective allows women to see loneliness not as an insurmountable obstacle, but as a temporary experience that can be overcome, just as any other emotional challenge can be. When a woman finds herself without the close companionship of friends, the emotional landscape can initially feel barren. Yet, in the absence of external relationships, there lies an untapped well of potential for empowerment and self-discovery. While friendship and social support are undoubtedly important, periods of solitude and isolation offer unique opportunities to connect deeply with oneself. These moments of being alone can serve as a powerful catalyst for personal growth, leading to a deeper understanding of one's true desires, strengths, and aspirations. At the heart of self-discovery is the opportunity to rediscover one's identity. Friendships often play a role in shaping how we see ourselves. The influence of others, their expectations, their opinions, and their influence on our decisions can sometimes cause us to lose sight of who we truly are outside of the context of social roles. Being without friends can offer a chance to step away from those external pressures and start asking the essential questions: who am I when I'm not performing for others? What do I want for myself, independent of societal expectations? What are the parts of me I've neglected or hidden? In solitude, a woman can begin to explore her passions and values without the influence of external voices. This process of rediscovery can be transformative. Without the distraction of constant social engagements or the need to align with the opinions of others, there's space to listen to one's own inner voice. Women who find themselves without a close friend may, for the first time in a long while, have the luxury of pursuing their own interests, hobbies, dreams, and ambitions that may have been set aside in favor of maintaining relationships or meeting the needs of others. By dedicating time to personal exploration, women can reconnect with the essence of who they are, free from the compromises that often come with the need to conform or fit into established social groups. Moreover, solitude can spark independence and resilience. It is easy to become reliant on others for emotional support, validation, or even a sense of purpose. But when friends are absent, women are faced with the challenge of becoming their own source of strength. This can be a powerful and empowering process. In learning to navigate life's challenges alone, a woman discovers her own inner resources, the strength to face obstacles, the creativity to solve problems, and the courage to take risks. Over time, this fosters a deep sense of self-reliance as women realize they are capable of handling difficult emotions and situations on their own. Instead of seeking external validation, they begin to trust their own judgment and instincts, knowing that they have the power to create their own path. In periods of solitude, women also often experience a form of emotional healing. Sometimes friendships can carry emotional burdens, unresolved conflicts, toxic dynamics, or unspoken expectations that cloud our sense of self. Being without these relationships can create the space necessary for healing, allowing a woman to process past hurt and disappointment free from the constant noise of social interactions. The solitude allows for emotional clarity, enabling her to address unresolved emotions and come to terms with past experiences that may have affected her sense of worth. The absence of friends, in this sense, becomes an opportunity to release old emotional baggage, heal from past wounds, and rebuild a stronger sense of self-esteem. The process of self-discovery often also involves a great deal of self-compassion. When a woman is without close friends, she may be forced to confront feelings of inadequacy or shame, feelings that often arise when one is isolated from the social bonds that many of us take for granted. In these moments, it becomes crucial to practice kindness and patience with oneself. Self-compassion is not just about comforting oneself in difficult moments, it's about learning to accept oneself fully, flaws, imperfections, and all. Women without friends may initially feel the weight of their loneliness, but in the absence of external judgment, there is an opportunity to embrace their own imperfections and be gentle with their needs. Learning to offer ourselves the same love and understanding that we might offer a close friend is one of the most powerful tools for self-empowerment. It shifts the focus from a perceived lack of connection to an abundant sense of self-worth that exists independently of others. Being alone also offers an opportunity for clarity of purpose. In the busy rush of maintaining friendships and social obligations, it can be easy to lose sight of one's personal goals and aspirations. When friendships are not a focus, a woman may find that she has more time and energy to dedicate to herself, whether that's advancing her career, pursuing personal goals, or simply exploring new ways of thinking. This clarity can help define a woman's true desires, whether they be professional, personal, or creative. Without the constant input of others, she can start to develop a vision for her life that is based on her own desires rather than the expectations or opinions of those around her. This self-defined vision becomes an anchor, giving direction and purpose to her daily actions and long-term decisions. Moreover, solitude can ignite creativity. Without the distractions of social commitments or the input of others, there is more space for the mind to wander and explore new ideas. Women who find themselves without a close friend may tap into creative energies that were previously dormant or suppressed. Creativity thrives when there are no expectations, no rules, and no comparisons to others. Whether it's picking up a new artistic hobby, writing, or simply exploring new ways of thinking, solitude provides an ideal environment for creative growth. This creative expression becomes a source of empowerment in itself, as it allows a woman to connect with a deeper part of herself, one that is not defined by others, but by her own imagination and vision. Through these processes of empowerment and self-discovery, a woman learns not only to navigate life without the close companionship of others, but to thrive in it. She becomes attuned to her own needs, desires, and boundaries, and begins to shape a life that reflects her truest self. This newfound strength doesn't diminish the importance of friendship or human connection, but it allows her to approach relationships from a place of wholeness, rather than seeking to fill a void. By discovering her own capacity for growth, healing, and creativity, a woman without friends is given the rare opportunity to forge a path of deep personal empowerment, one that comes from within and is shaped by her own hands.